Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. We're continuing with our summer 2017 papers, and today we're looking at the Foundation Series paper 3. So I would recommend that you have a copy of this paper to hand, either already done or do it alongside the video. If you look at the description to this video, you will find a link that will take you to a PDF copy of the paper, which includes a QR code for you to scan if you want to. Feel free to have some music on in the background. I certainly have music on in the background when I'm recording these videos, so feel free to do that as well. Please, if you find this video useful, subscribe if you like. Okay, question 1. The table shows lengths of 5 rivers. Write down the rivers in order of length, starting with the shortest river. So the shortest river from the list is the River Don. We've then got the River Mersey, followed by the next smallest is Trent. We've then got Thames, followed by Severn. There we go. So the second part then. Amy says the River Thames is more than 3 times as long as the River Don. Is Amy correct? So if we're thinking, I'm going to start with this one and times it by 3. So if we look at the River Don, Don is 112 meters. So times that by 3 would give us 336. And is the River Thames is 346. And then 346 is bigger, so is more than 3 times. Is Amy correct? Yes. Question 2. Cups are sold in packs and in boxes. There are 12 cups in each pack. There are 18 cups in each box. Alison buys P packets of cups and B boxes of cups. Write down an expression in terms of P and B for the total number of cups. So we've got 12 lots of the pack, so 12P plus 18B. Question 3. Here are 4 digits. Write down the smallest possible two-digit number that can be made with the 2 digits. With 2 digits. Write down the smallest possible two-digit number that can be made with the 2 of the digits. So the 2 of the digits are going to be in size order. The lowest possible value for the tens, the next lowest for the units. So we're looking at 15 for the smallest. Second part, write down a 3-digit number closest to 200 that can be made from the 3 digits. So I'm going to do this the number's either going to be smaller than 200 or bigger than 200. So the smallest number that we can make as close as we can to 200 is 196. And the largest one, well, we're going to be way over. So the largest one, the smallest one over 200 would be 516, so we're much closer with 196. Okay, question 4. 4/5 of a number is 32. Find the number. So in effect, what we've done is x times by 4/5 is equal to 32. So probably the most straightforward way is to say that x is going to be equal to 32 divided by 4/5. And we can type that in on our calculator. So fraction 32 divided by or over, and again 4/5. So our original number would have been 40, keeping it nice and simple. Okay, question 5. A path is made of white tiles and grey tiles. A quarter of the tiles are white. Write down the ratio of white tiles to grey tiles. Well, if we're saying that, white to grey tiles, we're saying that we've got 1/4. That means 1 out of 4 parts, so there must be 1 to 3. Part B, there are a total of 56 tiles. Work out the number of grey tiles. So I'm going to switch back to the fraction. So 56 times by 3/4, because if there's 1/4 are grey, then 3/4 are 1/4 are grey, then 3/4 must be grey. So we're looking at 42 grey tiles. Question 6, here is a list of numbers. Bridget says, to work out the median, you find the middle number, so the median is 17. Bridget's answer is wrong. What is wrong with Bridget's method? She needs to put the numbers in order first. To put the numbers in order first. Work out the range of the numbers from the list. So for the range we need the largest value, so the largest value is 22 and the smallest value is 12. So 22 minus 12, which would just give us 10. Work out the mean of the numbers from the list. So for the mean we need to add all the numbers together. So I'm going to show it up here. So and then we need to divide by the number of numbers. So we've got, does it tell us in the question? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to do that divided by 7. I'm actually going to show that, which I don't always. So 12 plus 15 plus 14 plus 17 plus 22 plus 19 plus 13. So those numbers add up to 112. And then we're going to be dividing by 2. Just before we do, I'm expecting it to be a number between, I'm going to say roughly sort of 15. So divided by 7. So 112 divided by 7 gives us 16. So yeah, that seems like a reasonable answer. Okay, question 7. Britta is going to have a meal. She can choose one starter and one main from the menu. Write down all the possibilities. So I'm going to introduce letters to help me out here. S, F, M. Need to be careful of any repeating letters. P, R, and B. So no repeating letters. Okay, so I'm going to go salad and pasta. S and R, S and B. I'm going to switch my lines just so I can list them easier. So the same F to start with and then the same 3 options. And then finally melon followed by the final pattern. There we go. So 9 options. Okay, question 8. Joanne wants to buy a dishwasher. The dishwasher costs £372. Joanne will pay a deposit of £36. She will then pay the rest in 4 equal monthly payments. How much is each monthly payment? So I want to do 372 minus the deposit of 36, and then I want to divide the total by 4. So type it in just like that. So 372 minus 36. And I want to divide that by 4, and that's going to give me 84, which represents £84. We've already got the pound symbol there. So, okay, question 9. Davos is a cleaner. The table shows information about the time it takes him to clean each of 4 rooms in a house. Davos wants to clean all 4 rooms in one day. He will have a break for 75 minutes. Davos is going to start cleaning at 9 AM. Will he finish cleaning by 4 PM? So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to add up the total times, and I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to use my time function on my calculator to help me out with this. So I'm going to kind of show how I'm going to type it in. 2 hours and 0 minutes plus 1 hour and 40 minutes plus 1.5 plus 45 minutes. I'm just double checking on this. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to type that in as 1.5 hours and 0 minutes plus 45 minutes is 0 hours and 45 minutes. And then I'm going to add on this break time of 75 minutes. So that will be 0 hours and 75 minutes. And my calculator will do the grunt work here. So 2 hours and 0 minutes plus 1 hour and 40 minutes plus 1.5 hours and 0 minutes. plus 45 minutes, so 0 hours and 45 minutes, plus 0 hours and 75 minutes. And the calculator will automatically add those times up for me, so they're working it out to be in 0 hours and 10 minutes. And I can even use this to add up my time. So if I go, if I just add 9 hours to that time, then that will give me the finish time. So if I do that plus 9 hours and 0 minutes, that means that he finishes at 16 hours and 10 minutes. So will he be finished by 4? No, he finishes at 16. We'll go for time in here. He'll finish at 4:10 p.m. Okay, question 10. ABC is a straight line. The length of AB is 5 times the length of BC. AC is 90 centimeters. Work out the length of AB. So it's quite nice to have this line here. In effect, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to call that length there x. So this length here is 5x. So the total length is going to be, so AC is going to be 6x. 6x is going to be equal to 90. So x is going to be equal to 90 divided by 6, which I think is going to be 15. 90 divided by 6 is 15. So 15 centimeters. That's not the question though. The question said work out the length of AB. So AB is going to be equal to 5 times by 15, which I think is 75. So the actual A to B is going to be 75 centimeters. So part A, work out the value of t when v is equal to 4. So I'm going to write it in as I would type it into my calculator. So 4 times by 2 plus 3. So that's going to be 8 plus 3 would give me 11. Part B, make v the subject. So to do that, I want to get rid of a plus 3. To get rid of a plus 3, I minus 3 from both sides. So t minus 3 is equal to 4v. And then I want to get rid of a times by 4, so I divide by 4. So t minus 3 all divided by 4 is equal to v. So v is equal to t minus 3 divided by 4. Okay, question 12. The diagram shows a cube of length 2 centimeters. Vera says the volume of any solid made from 6 of these cubes is 48 centimeters cubed. Is Vera correct? You must show your working. So in effect, what we need to do here is 2 cubed times by 6. And I'm going to use my calculator. 2 cubed times by 6 is equal to 48. So is she correct? Yes. She is correct. Part B, draw a cuboid that can be made from 6 of these cubes. Write the dimensions clearly on your diagram. Okay, so I'll do this freehand. We'll see how this goes. So we've got 2 by 4 by 6. Work out the surface area of your cuboid. So it's going to be 2 lots of the front face, so that would be 4 times by 6, plus 2 lots of 2 times by 4, plus 2 lots of 2 times by 6. So, and I'm going to go calculator for this. So I make the surface area to be 88 centimeters squared. So 88. not that it's so. My method would be absolutely fine. I'm not saying that, but just to very briefly discuss, we could have done a 6 by 1 here. One, two, three, four, five, six. So that would have been an acceptable answer as well. So that would have been a total of 12 by 2 by 2. And that would have given me a surface area of 1 times by 8 times by 12, 1 times by 12 again. So let's just change that to 12, plus 1 by 1. So we could have had, I've done something wrong there. Yeah, it's 2's. So that should have been 2, that should have been 24, and that should have been 4. I've got my blocks and my areas confused there briefly. There we go. That's 4. 2 by 2, front and back. There we go. So that's my other option. So I could have had a 104. Okay, question 13. So we've got a size of the largest angle in the triangle is 4 times the size of the smallest angle. The other angle is 27 less than the largest angle. Work out in degrees the size of each of the angles in the triangle. Diagram might help us. This is an incredibly rough diagram. So if I call that one x, if I call that one 4 times as big, so 4x, and I call that angle there 27 less than the largest, so that's 4x minus 27, and then they need to add up to 180. So in effect, we've got 9x minus 27 is equal to 180. So 9x is going to be equal to, add 27 on both sides, so 207. So x is going to be equal to 180 plus 27 divided by 9, so 23. So that's not the answer. Well, that's the smallest size, 23. Times that by 4, that gives me my largest, and then take away 27 gives me my other angle. Okay, question 14. Andy went on a holiday to Canada. His flights cost him £150. He stayed for 14 nights at a cost of $196. Andy used Wi-Fi for 12 days at a cost of $5. The exchange rate, work out the cost of the flights and the hotel room and the Wi-Fi, giving your answer in pounds. Okay, so in effect we want to do this sum, so 1,500. I'm going to convert all of these into pounds as I go. So I want to, the cost in dollars then, total cost in dollars is going to be 14 times by 196 plus 12 times by 5, and that will give me my cost in dollars. I want to convert that into pounds, so I need to divide that by 1.9. So that's going to be 1,500 plus, and then we'll type it in as a fraction, so 14 times by 196 plus 12 times by 5, and I want to divide that by the exchange rate of 1.9. So we're looking at £2,975, 0.78947 ... So if we want it giving your answer in pounds, so I'm going to say £2,975.79. If there were fewer dollars to pounds, what effect would this have on the cost in the hotel? So fewer, so we're dividing this by a smaller number, so this here would become a bigger number, so Andy would have to pay more. So total price would increase. Okay, question 15. So we've got some sets here that we want to put into a Venn diagram. So I'm going to look at what numbers they have in common first of all. So they've both got 15 in common, and that's the only number in common. So set A also has the numbers 3, 9, 21 and 27, and then set B has the numbers 5 and 25. And then we need to include the numbers that would sit in the outside. So if I kind of run through these numbers, odd numbers less than 30, we've got 1, 3 is accounted for, 5 is accounted for, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 is accounted for, 17 is not, 19 is not, we've then got 21, that's not been accounted for, 23, 25, 27, and that's 29. So just looking at it, I've put 21 in twice, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And we should have 15 numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers. Okay, a number is chosen at random from the universal set, so that's from all of the numbers. Find the probability that the number is in the set A, U, B, so that's the union. So we've got, that's all the numbers in A and B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 7 out of the number of numbers, which we've just said was 15. Okay, solve the simultaneous equations. So whenever we're solving simultaneous equations, we either need our x coefficient to be the same size, whether that's positive or negative, or our y's. We currently have our x coefficients the same value, they're both 3's. So I'm going to say, to get rid of them, I'm going to subtract one from the other. When we subtract a negative number, it's the same as adding that number. So I'm going to do, to keep my y's positive, I'm going to do equation 1 minus equation 2. So 3 minus 3 is 0, y minus 4 is going to be 5y, and then minus 4 minus 6 is going to be minus 10. Divide both sides by 5, y would be equal to minus 2. I'm then going to substitute my value for y into my value for y into one of the original equations. And I'm going to go into equation 2, although it's not overly important which one. So 3x minus 4 times by minus 2 would be plus 8, and that's going to be equal to 6. So I'm then going to minus 8 from both sides, so 3x is going to be equal to 6 minus 8 is going to be minus 2. So x is going to be equal to minus 2/3. Okay, I'm going to do a very quick check with equation that I didn't use here. So I'm going to say check with equation 1. So 3 lots of x would be 3 times minus 2/3 would be minus 2, plus y, so minus 2, and that is equal to minus 4, which is what it's supposed to be. So we know that we've got that one right. So x is going to be minus 2/3 and y is going to be minus 2. Question 17. The table shows information about the dress sizes of 25 women. So dress size and number of women. Find the median dress size. So from a frequency table, we can find out the median. They're in effect already written in size order. So we need to find the middle value in this table. And the most straightforward way to do that is to say if we've got 25 values, then we would need to add 1 and divide by 2. So we're looking for the 13th value. So the first 2 values are 8 or less. The next 11 values, 2 plus 9, is 10 or less. And then 19 values, so the 12th to the 19th value are all size 12. So the median would be in that group. So the median is 12. Three of the 25 women have a shoe size of 7. Zoe says that if you choose at random one of the 25 women, then the probability that she has either a shoe size of 7 or a dress size of 14 is 9 out of 25, because 3 out of 25 plus 6 out of 25 is equal to 9 over 25. Is Zoe correct? You must give a reason for your answer. Probability of one thing or the other thing happening is correct in terms of our kind of method, but we're going to have some people, the events aren't mutually exclusive. They can happen at the same time. So you can have a woman who has a shoe size of 7 and a dress size of 14. So I would say no, the events are not exclusive. A woman could have a shoe size 7 and dress size 14. So in effect, if we carried this on, if we knew how many were in the intersection, we could then subtract the intersection, but we don't, so we can't just follow that as a process. Question 18. Daniel bakes 420 cakes. He bakes only vanilla cakes, banana cakes, lemon cakes, and chocolate cakes. 2/7 of the chocolate are vanilla cakes. 35% of the cakes are banana cakes. The ratio of the number of lemon cakes to the number of chocolate cakes is 4/5. Work out the number of lemon cakes Daniel bakes. Okay, so I'm going to set this up using the ratios for now. I'm going to kind of combine the ratios though. So we've got vanilla, banana, lemon, chocolate. So 4 categories, I believe. So let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the first bit tells us that 2/7 of the cakes are vanilla, so that's in effect 2 to 7. 35% of the cakes are banana, so 35%. And I'm actually going to change this as I do it. So I'm actually going to, we've got 2/7 there. The ratio of the number of lemon cakes to chocolate cakes is 4/5. Work out the number of lemon cakes. So we just want the number. I'm just trying to think of a shortcut way for this. I can't really spot one. I'm going to work out the numbers for these. So in effect, 420, 420, 420 times by 2/7. So we've got 120 vanilla cakes, and then I'm going to times that by 35%. So 0.35. So we've got 147. So that means that if I add that to 120, so we've got 275, 267. So that means that the lemon and chocolate is going to be 420 minus that. So we've got 153 of those lemon or chocolate, and then if that's the ratio of 4 to 5, we're splitting that between them, or actually it's probably easier to say 153 times by 4 out of 9. So if I times that by 4/9, That's not too many times. 4/9. We get 68 lemon cakes. Okay. So in the diagram, A, B, B, C, and C, D are three sides of a regular polygon P. Show that the polygon P is a hexagon. You must show your working. So I'm going to look at exterior angles here. So I'm going to say the exterior angle of a 12-sided shape. So the exterior of 12 sides is equal to 360 divided by 12. So it's going to be 30 degrees. And if we've got a square, so the exterior angle of P is going to be equal to 90, because we've got a right angle here, minus 30, so it's going to be equal to 60 degrees. So the number of sides of P is going to be equal to 360 divided by 60, which is going to be 6 sides. So, which means it's a hexagon, which is a hexagon. Okay, question 20. The density of apple juice is 1.05 grams per centimeter cubed. The density of fruit syrup is 1.4 grams per centimeter cubed. The density of carbonated water is 0.99 grams per centimeter cubed. 25 centimeters cubed of apple juice is mixed with 15 centimeters cubed of syrup and 280 centimeters cubed of carbonated water to make a drink with a volume of 320 centimeters cubed. Okay, work out the density of the drink. Okay, so I'm going to go apple juice, fruit juice, carbonated, and then drink. So we've got density, mass, and volume. Right, and then we're going to put some of this information in. So 1.05 density of apple juice. So I'm going to create a very rough table. And work out the density of the drink. So I want to work out this value here. Okay, so I was at this point here, 1.05 for the density of the apple juice, of the fruit syrup 1.4, and of the carbonated is 0.99. Then we're given these values for the volume, 25, 280, oh no, wrong place. Put that in the wrong place. That was 15. That was 280, and it tells us the total volume. Although we could have just added these three values together. Okay, so we need to work out the mass of these three and then add them together. So the mass of the apple juice, well, density is mass divided by volume. So mass is density times by volume. So 25 times by 1.05 is going to be equal to 105 over 4. 15 times by 1.4 is going to be 21. 0.99 times by 280 is going to be 1386 over 5. I'm just double checking my first value. Yeah, okay, so plus 21 plus, I'm paranoid that I've not written that very clearly to the point where I can't read it properly. So let's just do that last one again. 280 times by 0.99. 1386. Thought it was an 8, but I just wasn't confident. So plus 21 plus 105 over 4. So the total weight is going to be 6489 over 20. So if we're timesing that by 20, we now need to find the missing density. So density is, like we said, mass divided by volume. So density is going to be equal to 6489 over 20 divided by 320. So I'm going to divide my answer by 320. So I get, we'll do it as decimal first of all, fraction first of all. So 6,489 over 6,400. And then we'll go decimal. So that's going to be 1.0139 ... So it's 2 decimal places, 1.01. Okay, question 21. Show that these two triangles are mathematically similar. So for them to be mathematically similar, in effect, all three, well, we only need to prove it with 2, as we're stating that we've got a right angle there. So the scale factor between those two sides must be equal for all 3 sides. So if I do 7.5 divided by 3, that's going to be equal to, and I'm also going to do at the same time 10 divided by 4, and at the same time, just to show it properly, 12.5 divided by 5, and those should all give me the same value. So 7.5 divided by 3 gives us, and I've typed that in wrong, so 5 over 2. That also gives us 5 over 2. That also gives us 12.5 divided by 5, also gives us 5 over 2. So scale factor, let's write scale correctly. Scale factor between all 3 sides are the same. So it must be similar. Okay, question 22. Complete the table of values for y is equal to 6 divided by x. So I'm looking at dividing all of these by 6. And we can use our calculator to do each individual sum, but I'm going to just use the table function on my calculator. It's going to be slightly awkward in this case. So the function of x, that means y in effect, y is a function of x, is going to be 6. So we'll type 6 divided by, and then we're going to go alpha, and then x. So that's my first function. I don't need a second. I want to start at 0.5. I want to end at 6, and even though I don't need all the 0.5 values, I want to go in steps of 0.5 for my first 3 values. And that will automatically do it for me. So my first value is 12. So my first value is 12. My second value is 6. My next value is 4. I've then got, when it's 2, it's 3. We agree with that. We've then got 2. When it's 4, it should be 1.5. And then when it's 5, we should have 1.2. And when it's 6, we should have 1. On the grid below, draw the graph of. So we want to put that information onto our graph then. So 0.5 and 12 going to be there. 1 and 6 will be there. 1.5 and 4 going to be there. We've then got 2 and 3, which would be there. We've then got 3 and 2. We've then got 4 and 1.5. That would be about there. And then we've got 5 and 1.2, which is going to be there. And then finally 6 and 1. We then want to join that up with as smooth a curve as we can. So I'm going to cheat. So I'm joining that point to, so this will automatically give me a smooth curve. You're going to have to do it freehand, I'm afraid. but it's easier for you to draw it freehand than it is for me to do it on my laptop screen. And then double click on the final one. I want to just change that slightly. So I've just changed the colour of that. You can see that I'm slightly out with my curve here. I've plotted that in slightly, ever so slightly, probably the wrong point, but that's absolutely fine. That looks good. So that's how we draw that. Okay, question 23. Harley's house has a value of £160,000. Correct two significant figures. Write down the least possible value of that house. So if it's two significant figures, it's been rounded to 160,000 instead of 150,000. So the smallest value that we would do for that is 155,000. And then write down the greatest possible value of the house. Well, in terms of limits of accuracy, we go up to the upper bound and we would say that that's 165,000. So, although technically speaking, we would round that up. So, slightly more accurate would be 164,999 reoccurring. But we tend to just go for that as our upper and lower bound. And then part B, the value of Rita's house decreased by 5%. Her house then had a value of 210,000. So in effect, the original price times by 5% as a multiplier would be 1.05. So times by 1.05 would have given us the 210,000. So her original value of her house would be 210,000 divided by 1.05. So 210, nope, let's go back into our calculator mode. So 210,000 divided by 1.05 will give us the value of 200,000. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the paper. Before I sign off, I will just bring up the skills map. So this tells you which skill each of those questions was linked to. It is also the title of all of the chapters. But for example, if you struggled the most on question 15, that was Venn diagrams and tree diagrams / theoretical probability. So if you want to do any targeted revision, that will give you your areas to look at. Okay, thank you for your time in watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful. So please, any questions, comments, or queries, please type them into the chat. I'm pretty prompt in getting back to people, and I will get back to you very quickly. So again, thank you for your time, and please subscribe if you like.